Figure out your why. That's the conversation we're going to have here today on Self Love Monday. How you guys doing? This is Ron Simplify, my author, podcaster, and your uplifting life partner. People always wonder, because I've heard people say, well, in order to accomplish your dreams and goals, you need to be focused. You need to have you have to stop procrastinating. You have to goal set. And I've always said and believed to be true, those are never ever your issues. And here's why. Saying why. That's the answer. The why. Because the question would be, if you told me I needed to, or if I told myself I need to stop procrastinating, then why do I need to stop procrastinating? Now, sometimes I've even shared even procrastination isn't as bad as people think it is, because sometimes you got to understand when you procrastinate, there's a good reason. You may be procrastinating because you're tired, which means you obviously need to get some rest. So what people are calling procrastination may be a good thing for you to do at this point. Sometimes also procrastination is telling you you're getting ready to do something you don't want to do. And therefore, you need to figure out how to get someone else, pay someone else to do it, or do an exchange or whatever, and have someone else do things that you don't want to do. So what the world is calling procrastination ain't always a bad thing. You need to figure out, why are you procrastinating? You guys follow? This why is so powerful. But if you understand why, then what the world is calling procrastination, you would stop doing that anyway. Even when we talk about time management, if you know why you want to do something, you will find the time. That's why whenever people tell me I didn't have the time to do this, or I didn't have the time to do that, no, it wasn't at the top of your priority list. Now, you could candy code it any way you wanted, but the reality is it wasn't significant to you, and that's the real reason why you didn't get it done. Because you have to figure out, why do you need to get it done? And then all the excuses, all the other reasons that will come up, you'll block those out. Why? See how why I keep coming up? But it's still the answer. When you know the why, you can get past all that other stuff. When I know exactly why I need to cross the street, procrastination, time management, all the other reasons that people tell you you got to get good at won't matter, because I will address all of those. The why is the answer. And we need to take the time. I remember a guy he had made the comment. He said, if you don't know what your plans are for the day, just go back to bed. Which I'm not necessarily saying is a good thing. And he even said himself, he said, no, just joking. But the bottom line, and I know what he's getting to, because if you don't know the why, what is today for? What are you planning on doing today? You end up wasting a lot of that time. Even why, you can put very clear in terms of everything that's in existence today. Everything came because of a why. Someone sat back and thought about it. Or I've always said the don't wants, because the don't want and the why are the same thing to me. Don't want, people didn't want to sit on the floor, so they built chairs. They didn't want to eat in their hands, they built tables. Now, I don't know exactly why they did it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. There was a why that they did it. The car, there was a why. The airplane, there's nothing in existence that didn't start with a why or the word don't want. Because we always look at don't want as a bad thing. Don't want is a good thing. Don't want is what gives you clarity. Don't want will actually also help you figure out the why. Because a lot of times when I talk to people and I ask them, why do you want something? Or even in a relationship, what exactly do you want? What are you looking for? Why do you want this relationship? They can't come up with an answer. But if you say, what is it you don't want? or why wouldn't you want to be in a relationship? People could come up with all these different answers. They can write books. And of course, the opposite of that is what you do want or what it is that you actually want to accomplish in your life. So sometimes we have to start with the don't want or the why we don't want something or why we would push away from something to help us get clarity on what it is that we do want. So, but I think you guys pretty much got the idea of the why is where we have to start, whether it's relationships, whether it's projects. If you're sitting there saying, I can't pay my bills, why do you need to pay your bills? Why, I mean, to have more than that. I shouldn't say to pay you. We know why you better pay your bills. But why do I need to have more? Why do I need abundance? Just saying I want a lot of money, there's no clarity there. See, we all think that the how to get it done, well, we need to figure that out. No, you don't. See, that how is the procrastination and people saying the time management and setting goals. And see, those are all the how. You don't need to worry about those until you figure out the why. Because once you get the why, you'll figure out all that other stuff. You'll stop the procrastination. You'll start setting the goal. That's why you attract that which you focus on. Because if you're not clear on what you don't want, you're still making, as we say, you make a decision whether you make a decision or not, because not making a decision is a decision, right? So it's the same thing. If you don't figure out why, life is just going to respond on its own. And unfortunately, we've talked about this before. We do about, I think they said like 60, 70,000 thoughts a day. And majority of those, probably about 90% of those, I don't know how they figured all that out, but anyway, they say about 90% of those are the same thoughts. So if we're having the same thoughts, we're going to get the same results. So we have to get some clarity. We have to figure out why so that we can start adjusting those other 60 to 70,000 thoughts to take us in a different direction. Does that make sense? Then we'll start to attract differently because we're starting to think differently. And part of that process, the starting process, is the why. So you need to take the time, whether we're talking about a relationship, if you need to figure out why do I need to be in a relationship? Or why is it okay to be alone? And you get to weigh all that stuff and get some clarity. And then how to get it done will automatically show up. And I shouldn't say automatically like you're just going to sit there. It's going to happen. But you'll start to, just what we said, you get control of the 60, 70,000 thoughts, and you start to change those, you'll start to do different things. And that's what I'm saying about the attraction, because if you're going in different directions, it's just like on the way to work. If you go the same way to work, don't be shocked that the buildings look the same. Don't even be shocked if you happen to see some of the same people on the way to work. The building's going to look the same, some of the same cars, everything, because you're in the same path. But if you want to do something differently, go a different way to work and see some different buildings, some different things. And so it's the same thing with the thoughts. We have to get control of those. But first, let's figure out whatever it is that we're talking about. Let's figure out why we need to get it done. Take the time. Someone was just talking about that, where if I had 6 hours, you guys have heard this before. They said if I had 6 hours to chop down, to chop. Woo, mine is gone there. If I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, 4 of those hours, the first 4, are going to be spent on sharpening the blade. That blade is the why. Spend majority of your time. Folks, I know the world makes you feel guilty if you ain't out doing something, like how dare you sit down and breathe for a little bit. You need to take that time. You need to, whatever field it is that we're talking about, take that time to figure out this why, to get very, very clear. And then you can start moving in the direction of what you want. It's the same thing. Like, I've had people ask me about certain business opportunities, even some of the business that I've been in the past, and they'll ask me, would you get back into that business or something? And I tell people, I said, if you're not losing sleep at night because of excitement, because of the joy of going into that business. And I'm talking about different business where people talking about multi-level, which are legal. For those who said, all those are pyramids. No, multi-levels are legal. Pyramid is a pyramid, and there's no product involved. It's just money being moved around. That's what makes it illegal. But anyway, we're not going to get into all those conversations. But multi-levels are real. Businesses that you work in, it's all based on the people at the top are making money based on what the people at the bottom are doing. So let's get past this thinking all these things where you hear people make money off other people. It's something bad about it. If you don't have no product, then I start to look at it a whole different ball game. So does so does the government and the tax people. They start to say, "Ain't no products." That's when we start getting into the pyramid. But anyway, I didn't mean to get off into that particular conversation. But even in those programs, if you can't figure out why and that you're excited about those things, and why are you excited about those things, then when people quit or people tell you no, or people that think you're crazy because you're doing it, it will stop you in your tracks. And it'll stop you from moving forward. But if you know why and you have that passion for it, you'll move in spite of what others are saying and what others are thinking. But I know you guys pretty much understand what I'm talking about here. Let's figure out that why. I don't care what it is. We're talking about relationships, why you need to love yourself. Yeah, that's probably a good one to start because you know this is Self-Love Monday. That's probably why do you need to love you? Take some time. Figure this out. Why do you need to love you? And then how to do that will start to take place because you'll start to talk to yourself and maybe I need to listen to people that do seem to love themselves or self-love books or self-love. You see, once you figure out why I need to do this, it's because so I can feel good about myself, so I can take control of my health, so I can. But those things are only going to happen if I love me and I know why I need to love me. Because if I don't love me, how can I expect anyone else to love me? So we got to get clear on this why thing, and then everything else take care of itself. And as you guys know, it ain't right, it ain't wrong. It is my opinion. Now run on over and pull up the app on Google. What is it? Google Play. Google Play. Yeah, Google Play, Apple Store. It's Simplified You. That's the app. Simplified, the letter U, not the word U. Simplified You. You can download it. It's a free app. It'll give you access to everything that I got going on. And folks, as you know, if you're not having fun, you should be doing something else. Take the time to figure out the why. It doesn't matter what topic that we're talking about. Let's get clear on that. And then the attraction, the how, that stuff will start to appear. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.